70% of digital transformations fail, and you are likely to fail in your attempt at digital transformation if you fall into one of these 10 pits. Pitfall number 1: setting unrealistic goals and expectations. We all set optimistic goals whenever we plan for the future. Need to convert your customer software application to use AI? It'll take 3 months, no problem. Need to upgrade your logistics management software? 6 months at best. Need to hire a VP of product? We'll have great candidates lining up minutes after we post. We can't help setting these optimistic expectations. It's part of our nature, and if we didn't, it would probably be very depressed. Same goes for digital transformation initiatives. Usually the project comes in and the VP of engineering will say it'll take, I don't know, 6 months to do, and it'll, $1 million in budget. And the way the executives or leadership comes up with these estimates, usually by surveying some people, saying how long it's going to take, and then maybe adding 50% in time or budget, and that is the goal. Many times, 70% at least, these attempts fail because the estimates are too optimistic in terms of how much money it's going to take and how little time it's going to take. The solution to this is to understand the number one thing about digital transformation. The digital transformation is not something that you do repeatedly. It's not a repeatable process. Very likely, no one in your organization has done this type of digital transformation before, so it's very hard to come up with estimates. The best way to solve that problem is to think of the estimate for the digital transformation, figure out how long you think it's going to do, double it, and then double it again. And only then you'll be very close to the time and budget that it was actually going to take. If you do this correctly and you set these realistic goals and expectations, you will be that much closer to success. It's not a guarantee, but at least you'll be on your way there. Pitfall number 2: failure to discard baggage. Digital transformation is often seen or understood as something about modernizing technology, taking your existing process, automating it, maybe putting a legacy application to the cloud, and things similar of that nature. But it is important to remember that there's much more to digital transformation. Oftentimes, digital transformation initiatives go to extreme lengths to update everything that the company has to use the latest and greatest technology. For example, in factories, you can upgrade all of the machineries on all the lines. Or in, say, businesses can spend millions on automating existing manual processes, just to check off that digitally transformed box. And a lot of the times that's all it takes. But the real question that you should be asking when you're doing digital transformation is, what shouldn't you transform? A lot of the times there are processes in the business that are old. They require too many steps. There's a lot of rework. They create a lot of defects. And a lot of the times these processes are money sinks. So in order for digital transformation to be useful and effective, it is important to understand which process you should transform and which you shouldn't. A lot of the times transforming just blankly anything that you see, upgrading all your applications, could be a big waste of money and time. So digital transformation is that opportunity where you can discard your baggage, remove things that don't work, things that cost you money, and kill off all the unprofitable processes, products, and business models, and a chance to build something new and more innovative. Pitfall number 3: viewing change as a one-time fix. This is related to setting unrealistic goals and expectations. Many digital transformations fail because of lack of long-term view from those who lead these digital transformations. constrained usually by stakeholders, money, budget, management, and all sorts of other things. The digital transformation leaders embarking on digital transformations usually focus on this one or two things that need to be done. And once it's done, it's finished, forget about it. It makes sense from their point of view, right? You have a limited budget, so you look for the application that you need to modernize, and you say, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to be done, and then we're going to move on with the business. Or you say you have a process, a manual process, and you're thinking about, I don't know, how do we make this faster, cheaper, and automate some things? So you go and you look for software as a service solution, you implement it, and you are done. So focusing on these two things, that one quick wins, might seem like the right thing to do at the very beginning, but it usually leads to failure later on. Modernizing applications, can save time, make things faster, and all of that stuff. But that doesn't mean that business is good and ready to enter the digital world, the new digital world. Same thing with buying a software as a service solution. Just because you implement it does not mean that everything else is going to just magically work better. Successful digital transformations are usually ongoing initiatives that are part of this bigger strategic view, strategic goal, and involve many parts of the business. They usually are done sequentially or sometimes in parallel, depending on the resources. And the goal is to move the business forward in, along the business's strategic trajectory. Whatever the long-term strategic goal is, that's what the digital transformation is trying to achieve. So in order to be successful here, you need to start with a long-term view of your business and then build your digital transformation to fit that view and then execute on it. Pitfall number 4, limiting changes to just your IT group. IT groups, whether it's tech support, software engineering, product development, usually are at the forefront of technological change, and they have to stay current in order to kind of keep up with the latest innovations, keep the business going, keep the business secure. So a lot of the times when the business begins the digital transformation process, the focus is on digitally transforming just the IT group. Other digital transformation initiatives are usually led by the IT groups. So this focus on just the IT group either doing or just leading the digital transformation can often leave other parts of the business behind. So for example, the finance departments might have gone through a digital transformation a while back when it started using Excel instead of paper, and you have not actually looked into any other ideas of how to make their work better. They could still be using hundreds of Excel sheets to do the business, finance business and emailing the Excel sheets between different groups, between different people in order to compare and do whatever they need to do for work. Or maybe you've kind of taken a look at something, in say customer service department and help them upgrade their help desk to use a software as a service solution in the cloud, but didn't actually fully look into how they do work, and maybe they're still using some archaic processes and ways to forecast what the customer demand is or solve non-technical customer problems the old way, the non-digital way. So this focus on the whole business should be a priority in this case, not just on the IT groups. You should bring everybody together in the same room and have everyone understand what the business goals are and figure out a plan that will move the business forward together, rather than just handing it off to the IT group and saying, hey, you guys go and figure this out. Digital transformation is a whole company, whole organization endeavor. Pitfall number 5, practice fake change. This is often an issue in big organizations and governments. The big boss hears about digital transformation and does a little bit of digging and then figures out, okay, we need to do digital transformation. So he makes a big show of saying, all right, this year we're focusing on digital transformation and we're going to get it done. Then time goes by and nothing really happens. Maybe the department switches from using Excel sheets and mailing each other different versions of it to using Google Sheets, so everything's on one line, and you have to stop emailing the Excel, the spreadsheets. Maybe the paper forms are now fillable PDF forms, and that's it, nothing else. This is fake change, fake digital transformation. It is usually a result of not knowing what digital transformation is, or, and this is probably more important, not being brave enough to force the needed change to produce a result and to take the digital transformation where it needs to go. So, fake digital transformation, when you say you're going to do it, maybe do it a little bit and then kind of forget about it, usually delays the inevitable rise in the cost of doing business. And this problem is often seen in like big governments and organizations, so sometimes you don't notice these increase in costs right away until business go bankrupt or some small company disrupts the operations. In the government, it could take even longer until maybe some government watchdog notices the tremendous waste of public resources and money. So fake change needs to be eliminated at its root. And if you want your business to succeed, you have to do digital transformation the right way. Pitfall number 6, focusing on existing business only. Digital transformation usually focus on improving things in the existing business, automating, upgrading, modernizing, things like that. But there's another aspect of digital transformation that is missed by a lot of these businesses. And this focusing on innovating, on changing how you do things and innovating in new products, new processes, new business models. In the startup world, usually the startups begin by looking at existing problems that people have been facing, the businesses have been facing, and coming up with new solutions. And unweighed by existing baggage of previous corporate processes, corporate structure, and corporate environment, these startups innovate quickly and then move on to disrupt the whole industries and then take over and put other businesses out of business. So when your organization takes on a digital initiative, it is important to dedicate some part of the time and resources to innovating your new products, to creating new products, improving your products, innovating new processes. So focusing on something new that your business can do in order to provide more value to your customers. If you don't focus on that, that is a sure path towards being out of business. Maybe not right away, but as soon as some new startup comes on board, finds a new way to solve the problem that you're solving in a different way, in an innovative way, in a digitally transformed way, the new startup will take over, you will lose customers, and the business will go out of business. Pitfall number 7, leading by consensus. There's an old business adage: if you try to sell to everyone, you will sell to no one. The same thing goes for digital transformation. If you try to please everyone and find one solution that fits every department's need, it will doom the initiative from the start. Digital transformation is about change, and its primary focus is the reduction of costs. And when you do digital transformation, you add technology to the mix, you make things faster and you make things cheaper. This usually means that some departments or some areas of business will have to shrink and others will have to grow. Not everybody will be happy about that. In bigger initiatives, some leaders may feel defensive and guard their turf more closely. So if you try to please everyone and try to lead by consensus, your initiative will be doomed to failure from the start. You can't please everyone. The way out of it is simple but difficult. It is important to get everybody on board, put everyone on the same page, ask for advice, listen, and then make a decision. Once you make the decision, you need to communicate the decision to everybody and ask everyone to commit or leave. That's it. Pitfall number 8, not preparing your team for change. Digital transformation often fail because people don't like change. More specifically, people don't like change that directly affects them. And even more specifically, people don't like change that has an uncertain outcome. So during the digital transformation, a lot of your team members will feel intimidated, scared, angry, insecure, depressed, unheard, and they will have many other feelings. You need to acknowledge and understand that from the beginning. There will be resistance. You need to prepare yourself and your team for these particular turbulent times. In general, people can adapt to anything, but in order for them to be able to adapt to digital change more quickly and accept it more readily, the number one thing is for you to make sure you involve them in the change. Make sure that you explain what the change is, digital transformation is trying to accomplish, what outcomes you're looking for to achieve, and involving everyone in the process of designing and planning that change, strategizing that change, the digital transformation will create a sense of control and a sense of responsibility and accountability in your team members. And this will not guarantee, but will make it very likely that the digital transformation will be more successful than if you didn't do that. Pitfall number 9, failure to understand what digital transformation means for management. Management and executives often doom digital transformation initiatives to failure because they don't truly understand what digital transformation is and how to implement it. There are countless examples of executives learning about digital transformation and then coming in and saying something like, we need to SaaS the API and digitize the cloud, or some form of trendy word soup that makes them sound more intellectual and intelligent and like they're on top of things. The talk like this usually leads to failed digital transformation because management and leadership doesn't understand what it's all about. So before you take on digital transformation initiative, it is paramount that you ask yourself and your team to learn more about it. Read books, read blogs, talk to consultants, talk to other people, understand what it is, call in for training sessions so that everybody's on the same board, on the same playing field, and understands what needs to be done next. So this will help everyone understand what digital transformation entails and then help you spot the opportunities for digitally transforming a business that you might not have seen or understood before. Pitfall number 10, not focusing on providing customer value. This is probably one of the most important pitfall that you can fall into that could doom your whole initiative or even your whole business to failure. If you go through an expensive and timely digital transformation process and in the end it doesn't bring any value or any benefit to your customers, you have failed. During the planning stage for the digital transformation, the number one question you should be asking, how will this benefit your customer? What value will this digital transformation provide to your customer? If you cannot come up with a good answer to this very simple question, do not begin the digital transformation. A lot of the digital transformations are started because somebody thought that we need to modernize or do something that's, that everyone else is doing. That is not a good way to go. If you're in the business of serving customers, and I'm pretty sure all businesses are in that space, you need to understand what digital transformation will bring, what value digital transformation will bring to your customers. And once you've understood that, you will be that much further ahead than anybody else, and it will guarantee you a path towards success and more profit. Focus on what value you can provide to your customer during the digital transformation. Answer that simple question. What value will this digital transformation provide for my customer? And you will be further ahead. These 10 pitfalls are by no means an exhaustive list. There are nuances to each and one of these, and there are nuances within the nuances. But if you follow these 10 pitfalls and make sure you don't fall in them, you'll be that much further ahead of your competition. It's very likely that you will be in the top 30% of those who succeed, or maybe even in the top 10 of those who succeed spectacularly. Thank you for watching the 10 pitfalls of digital transformation, and I will see you next time.